Hey guys, Sean here, bringing you another juice review. Today we're going to do round 2 of Pink Spot Vapors juices. If you watched my previous video on Pink Spot, I got 6 juices from them that were all pretty fruity flavors. You may have remembered that I wasn't 100% satisfied with the juices. Nothing that was really bad. I just felt that the flavors were a little subdued and the throat hit was a little bit harsh on them. So I didn't give them quite a rave review, so to speak. Penn, the owner of Pink Spot, saw the reviews and sent me some messages back and forth, and discussed how he was concerned that I wasn't 100% satisfied with the juices. And I got the original shipment from him back in September, and I live in Texas, which is really hot that time of the year. Sorry. So he expressed his concern that maybe the juice has gotten damaged from the heat in the shipment, or maybe sitting in the mailbox, and that was what was affecting the strength of the flavors and a little bit of the throat hit as a result. Since I'd never had Pink Spot juices previously, I had no basis for comparison for those. So, I told him, I said that may be the case, and Penn offered to replace the juices for me, which I thought was phenomenal on his part, that he cared enough about the satisfaction of one of his customers that he was willing to do what he needed to do to make that customer happy. So regardless of my feelings on the original batch of juices, regardless of my opinion on the new juices that he sent for me, let me just say right off the bat that the customer service from Pink Spot Vapors is obviously phenomenal, and it shows a real dedication on Penn's part to take care of his customers and wanting them to be 100% satisfied. So, the juices that we're going to talk about, the replacement juices, I let them set up for a few weeks. Actually, I've had them nearly a month now, and I just haven't gotten around to doing the reviews on them. The 5 flavors he sent me was Outlaw 555, RY8, Andies Mint, Almond Joyz, and Bailey's and Coffee. So let's talk about the tobacco ones first, the Outlaw 555 and the RY8. So my opinion is going to be a little bit skewed on these because I'm not a real big tobacco fan. As a matter of fact, I've never tried an RY8 from any vendor that I actually liked at all. So the RY8, Penn describes on his website as RY4, but twice as good. And I'd agree with that. For an RY4-ish juice, I actually did enjoy this. It's not going to be a daily vape for me. It's not my favorite juice that I've ever tried, by any far stretch of the imagination. But for a tobacco juice, I liked it. It's one that, when I get into the mood for a tobacco juice, I would definitely go to. In my opinion, it has a little bit of a cocoa taste to it, which is interesting, because if somebody told me they were going to send me a tobacco juice with a little bit of a cocoa taste to it, I'd be like, oh, that doesn't sound pleasant at all. And Penn may be watching this and say, cocoa, that's not even remotely close to the flavors in there. Again, that's just my opinion, and I'm not complaining about it at all. I think the cocoa taste to it really adds a real nice flavor to the tobacco. It's not real strong, it's definitely subtle, but it's enough that it takes that RY4 that I don't really enjoy and makes it something that, in my opinion, is definitely a vapable juice. The throat hit is still, it's still a substantial throat hit. I'll say that. Both that and on the 555, both had a pretty significant throat hit. Not harsh, but bear in mind that for my own opinion's sake anyways, that the more substantial flavors, the heavier flavors like the tobaccos and chocolates and whatnot, I don't mind a little bit more of a throat hit. So it just may be my perception that they're milder on this. If you enjoy a throat hit and you enjoy the tobaccos, you'll probably really like it. The 555, again, for a 555, is a good 555. It's and again, he calls it Outlaw. It's got a little bit more of a nutty taste than I've experienced with some of the other 555s, a little bit of a sweetness to it, which makes it a real enjoyable tobacco. Again, I'm not a big tobacco fan. I can definitely see somebody who is a tobacco vapor would really enjoy these two flavors, either one of them. So, you know, if you're watching this, don't take my opinion on these particular juices necessarily to heart. If you like tobaccos, you definitely need to give these a shot, because I don't necessarily enjoy tobaccos, but I did enjoy these juices. So they were really, really good compared to the other tobacco juices that I've tried. So let me move past those onto the Almond Joyz and the Andies Mint. So the Andies Mint is spot on, identical in taste and smell to an actual Andies Mint. The first time that I cracked this bottle open and took a whiff, I was actually shocked by how close the smell is. I don't know that if you put an actual Andies Mint under my nose and then put this bottle up, that I would be able to tell you which one I was smelling. It is that close, and the flavor is that close. I mean, it tastes just like an Andies Mint. It's got that nice candied chocolate taste to it, and the mint really comes out on the exhale, so it makes it real nice, real refreshing, and is a really pleasant vape. The throat hit, I noticed, seemed to be less on these, and I don't think it was my perception on these. I think the actual throat hit was definitely milder on the Almond Joyz and on the Andies Mint than it was versus the tobaccos, which made them, for me, definitely more enjoyable to boot. If you enjoy the Andies Mints, you'll really enjoy that. I'll be vaping the Andies Mint definitely on a pretty regular basis. Now the Almond Joyz, to be honest with you, when I first smelled it, I couldn't remember what an Almond Joy was supposed to smell like and taste like. When you smell it, you definitely get that candied coconut, a little bit of a nutty smell to it, and a little bit of, I think, probably the same chocolate that they use in the Andies Mint, kind of that candied chocolate taste. It's definitely not like a semi-sweet chocolate or anything like that. It's good stuff. So I went and got an actual Almond Joy and tried it, and just for a basis of comparison, and the taste is really close. It's a really good similarity in the taste and the scent to the actual candy bar. So highly recommend both of those. The fifth one that I got from him is the Baileys and Coffee. Now I've tried a few coffee flavors in the past and have not been a real big fan of some of the coffee flavors. And I think mostly it was because the coffee tastes, the actual coffee juice, was just really overbearing for what they were. Now I have not tried the Baileys and Coffee yet. I wanted to keep it to try for y'all live so that I could get you a real good impression of what I thought about it. On the smell of it, the smells definitely the most prevalent thing you notice is the Bailey's smell to it. I don't notice a whole lot of the coffee smell to it at all, which is promising. That to me is it makes me very hopeful that it's a really nice, good vape. Now I will tell you that this is a really dark juice. I mean, it looks almost black until you kind of turn the bottle around, and then you get a little bit of the brownish tint to it. So make sure if you're vaping a dark juice like this that you're cleaning out your addies and everything real good, because my experience with the dark juices is that they do tend to kind of gum up your atomizers and whatnot. I don't know what the mixture as far as PG/VG is for Pink Spot. They don't really disclose that. It is a pretty thin liquid, so I'm going to guess it's pretty high on the PG. So that might not present as much of a problem as far as gumming up your atomizers as what something that's more like a 50/50 or 100% VG would. So I'm going to drop this in my atomizer, which I'm using a standard 510 normal resistance atomizer on my Buzz Pro. And I'm going to try this at about 4.4, 4.5 volts and see what kind of flavor we get out of it. That's really, really nice. That Bailey's taste. That Bailey's taste is really, really noticeable, and kind of like I anticipated from the smell, the coffee flavor is real subtle in it. It is, I gotta say, it's probably my favorite coffee flavor that I've tried yet. If you've never had Bailey's, it's kind of a butterscotch-ish taste to it. Not quite that strong of a flavor, but that's probably the closest thing that I can relate to it. This has got that real nice buttery texture to it that makes it real, real pleasant. Out of all the juices that I've had so far from Pink Spot, I would say that the throat hit is the mildest on this compared to any of the others, which is nice because I'm not a big throat hit guy. I like to be able to tell that I'm vaping something substantial. You know, I want throat hit, but I don't want it to be harsh. And this is not a bad juice at all. I really, really enjoy that. I can see myself really, really vaping that on a pretty regular basis. So to kind of summarize everything up, Bailey's and coffee, Pink Spot vapors, 2 big thumbs up. Real, real good juice. The Andies Mint and the Almond Joyz, real, real good juices. The RY8 and the Outlaw, for me, is kind of a because I'm not a big tobacco fan. For tobacco juices, and compared to some of the other ones that I've had, they're definitely a better tobacco juice than I've had from some of the other vendors. So if you're a tobacco lover, definitely give those a shot. You'll probably enjoy those. So I'll put a link to Pink Spot Vapors down in the description down here. Go give them a shot. Talk to Penn. Again, a big shout out to Penn for getting me fixed up and being concerned. Really appreciate the awesome customer service. Thanks for watching, and keep vaping.